I'm training for my fastest ever 10K. Now I want to get under 60 minutes. And I'm scared because that's fast. Now I'm letting my watch do all the work in terms of how I train. For years I've been trying to break 60 minutes for 10K. But if you ask me why though, I'd say it just sounds like a good number to me. I think it's quite easy to get caught up on the why and try and find a deeper meaning for a PB. But sometimes you just want to do it just because. And this is me just doing it just because. So with that in mind, Garmin has set me a challenge to follow my watch for 12 weeks to smash that 10K PB. For reference, my current PB is 103.59. But as you can already tell, it's got quite a few different hobbies. And I struggle to fit my running in around them, but we'll get more onto that later. First off, let's go through how to set up your Garmin. There are various options you can choose from. You can prepare for a race, train for a PB, or just improve the overall fitness. First off, open the app and select more in the bottom right corner. Then select training and planning. Now select races and events, then find an event. Find your race. The best thing about this is that when you select your race, it will then take into consideration the race conditions for this specific race, i.e. the terrain, elevation, climate, and everything needed to adapt your training to optimize for that race. It even tells you your predicted weather. I'm not a fan of the heat, so I'm praying for a cool day. Follow the prompts to set your goals and add the event to your calendar. Now that you've got an event and set a goal, your watch will give you day-to-day suggestions for workouts and runs to get you to your target. Your plan will adapt as you go along, depending on your performance, but also your recovery. So if you're not challenged by what is set for you, it might mean that your next workout might be even harder. And if you skip a day, well, the watch is going to be there to help you to stay on track. As an example, yesterday I had a bad night's sleep, so my recovery hasn't been as good as what was expected. So instead of the interval session that I was supposed to do today, Garmin has looked at all my data and decided a 40-minute base run would be better for my training based on my recovery. Pretty cool, right? It's really nice to know that my watch is looking out for me, and I'm really starting to notice the difference. Let's talk about that a bit more later. For my 10K training, there are 4 phases. There's the base phase, the build phase, the peak phase, and the taper phase. But how long you're in each phase is entirely dependent on how long you have until race day. Okay, first off, there's the base phase. This is where I build the foundations of my speed and endurance for race day. Then there's the build phase. This is where I start to increase my mileage and build my fitness. Now we're into the peak phase. This is where we drop the mileage but increase the intensity. This allows my body to recover while still maintaining and building on my fitness. And finally, the taper phase. As race day approaches, you want to be decreasing your volume by about 30% each week, while still maintaining those high intensity workouts to prepare my body. Now I've been training for 6 weeks now and I'm currently in the build phase. And guess what, guys? My VO2 max has gone up from 42 to 45. If you want to know more about VO2 max and what this is, check out Andy's video. But essentially it means I'm getting well fit. Right, I'm going to go through a breakdown of what my training looks like this week and how it changes with other factors such as my sleep, stress, and just general life. Oh, bit tight there. There are a number of workouts that I could be given in my workout plan. These are recovery, base, tempo, VO2 max, threshold, sprint, and anaerobic. So let's find out what my plan is for this week. I started my training week on a Sunday this week, which is something that I think is really cool. The fact that I can start my week kind of whenever I like and my watch just adapts day by day is quite a cool feature. On the cards today is a 37-minute base run at 6:30 km pace, which at the moment seems like quite a long while. So quite glad that I can do it on a Sunday instead of having to worry about, you know, the stresses of work and the working week. Often with other training plans, you can't move things between weeks, so it feels like your week always has to start on a Monday. For me, I always know Mondays at work are really busy. So Sundays, I like to get my week ahead started by getting organised and off to a good start. My weekly shop is always done on a Sunday, and I already have one of my runs ticked off too. Oh, I was quite active over the weekend, which is why my watch is saying to have a recovery run today. However, it is the TRC track session tonight, which I really want to go to. Can't believe I'm saying I'm excited to run with people, but I'm going to go and do that. So let's see how my watch adapts for the rest of the week. Right, track session done. That was intervals on the track. Haven't done that for ages and that was amazing. That was a session that was 5 minutes at 5k pace, alternating with 1 minute on at faster than 5k pace. I think that I I went probably faster than 1k pace, if that's even achievable or possible. I don't know, but it was fast. I really don't like running with people typically. I always feel like I'm a bit of a burden for people around me because I'm a slower runner. But with a session like this, it's really good because we're on a track, so everyone's together, even if you're running separately. And intervals are definitely my favoured thing to do with people anyway, because I'm quite quick over short distances relative to how fast I can run at long distances. But it was so nice to just be around people when you know, you're feeling a bit tough. You always got someone next to you being like, come on Tom, you can do it, you can do it. And then you know, when you get the fist bumps and everyone's smiling and happy in between reps, it's really nice. So, you know, maybe I'm changing a little bit. For the better, I think, for the better. So my watch is constantly taking in all the data from my day-to-day life and also the sessions that I'm doing each day. So things like HRV, body battery, stress are all taken into consideration, and that determines what my next day will be. I'm kind of hoping for a rest day though, because that session was pretty hard. Well, I've been told to rest today and I'm pretty buzzing about that because I've woken up and I feel pretty wrecked. But it's nice to see that someone's looking out for me as well. Originally today was supposed to be a rest day, but how my day panned out yesterday meant that I didn't actually get on that anaerobic run. So my watch is adjusted and today has given me a lovely threshold run. "35 minutes in total with 15 minutes at 5:05 km pace. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't actually hit the target time that was set out for me, but I know I could. It was just a bit of a mindset thing all in my head. When I was first asked if I wanted to follow my watch for a training plan, I was really hesitant and quite nervous. I'm historically really bad at following training plans because I'm quite new to running and don't really know where I can fit in and swap sessions around and end up just kind of bottling it every time. But I don't have to worry about that with this, which I found quite quickly, and it was really refreshing to see that this training plan adapts to my body and is tailored and suited to me personally, and I'm getting the most out of each session I can do. Now today my watch has given me a 33-minute base run at 6:30 km. I do kind of dread these because it is the kind of consistency of running over a longer period of time without stopping that I am very bad at. Give me an interval session over something like this any day. I think this is because I've come from a background in football, which is your short, sharp intervals running quickly. So my body has over time got pretty good at doing that. Interestingly, as a result of that, I found that my Garmin is giving me more easy or longer base runs than my intervals, as they are my weak points to work on. Talking about football though, I never was able to track many of my football games, and I always wondered how far or how I was running. But with the HRM Pro Plus heart rate strap, you can sync that to your watch, press start, put your watch down in your bag or your straps around your chest, and that records all of the data for you. This is a bit of a game changer though when you're trying to track all of your exercise across all your different hobbies for training to maximize, you know, your fitness. So what have I learned from a watch so far in training? Annoyingly, what I've learned from a watch is that it knows me way better than I know myself. And what I mean by that is that often it will give me a session that I just don't want to go on because I feel like I'm too tired or I feel like I've done enough for that week. But I go on it and I'm proven wrong and it's amazing. And I come back and I'm like, wow, that's another thing I've ticked off that I wouldn't have normally done. As many people know, I have a big love-hate relationship with running, and often it's the hate more than the love. But this training plan has hit different and I've fallen in love with running again. The time predictor has adjusted since I started training for my 10K, and at the start of my training block, my predicted time for 10K was over an hour. I've just had a look and it is under the 60-minute mark. Am I starting to like running? God, crazy. Now, I've got a few more weeks of training to go, so don't hold me to that, but what has been the hardest thing for training that you've experienced over the 10K? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, which you obviously have, go and watch this video where we chatted to Garmin experts about all the things you didn't know you needed to know about your watch. It blew Andy's mind.